another episode of SEC Clash, where I talk about stats, games, and some of my own personal rankings. Today, what I've got in store is SEC Coaches Hot Seat Meter. I'm going to be taking and rating from 1 to 10 how high I think they are on the hot seat. First, we're going to start with Brian Kelly. This is his first year was 2022, so he's been there for 3 years now. He's 313 and 108 in his overall record. He's 29 and 11 in the SEC. He did really good at Notre Dame. He's actually the most winningest coach that there ever was in Notre Dame. But now he's in the SEC, and he seems to be doing a good job. But he hasn't really hit that elite status. He's now going into his fourth season at LSU, and it's already starting on fire with Clemson being their first game. Something that Brian Kelly can't seem to do is win his first game of the season. He's really had problems with that. He's had a great offense, like in 2023 when he had the number one offense in the nation, but his defense has always seemed to fall short. With Joe Sloan as offensive coordinator in his third year at LSU, he's done a great job. And Blake Baker didn't have the greatest defense last year. They really couldn't stop a Russian quarterback. To say that Kelly is probably sitting at a 5 for me. I think he is on the hot seat. Still having a good winning season. He just needs to break through that barrier and get into the playoffs and have a better defense. I think he'd be better up for that. Go to a SEC championship. I think that'd be good for him. So I got him set at a number 5. He's not really that hot, but I think that he needs to do better before LSU. They're not going to stay happy with not making it to the playoffs for too long, and the fans aren't neither. So now we're going to go to number 2, or my second. And not really ranked, but I got Mark Stoops. His first year was in 2012. He's been at Kentucky for now 12 seasons. He's 76 and 68, 39 and 60 in the SEC though. Not too great. Kentucky was 4 and 8 last year. It was a real bad season for them. After Nick Saban actually retired, he became the most tenured coach in the SEC. But he's had 5 losing seasons since he's been there. He's coming in and trying to see if he can will some games, and starting to feel that the heat's really starting to get to him. I don't know if he can really do much more, but Kentucky, they're not really a football team. I think they're more of a basketball team, if so to say. But I got him as a 8 on the scale. It hasn't looked good for him. Last year he's having a lot of problems. I know he's got some new talent coming in this year. He had Brock Vandegrift last year. That didn't work out too well. Now he's got Zach Calzada coming in here. We're going to see how this really, takes off for them. But he's got to really step it up and, not be at the bottom of the SEC. I don't think he has to go to the playoffs. I think he has to have a good winning season. I say 8 and 4. I think he's okay. Maybe 7 and 5. Maybe. I think he'll be okay, but we'll have to see. Next, I got Billy Napier. His first year was in 2022. That's when he started coaching for Florida. He's 19 and 19. He's 8 and 3 in the SEC. His first winning season at Florida was last year's. Was 8 and 5, but fans want to see more improvement this year. He signed a 7-year contract for $51 million. His buyout is actually $19 million coming up on this season or this year. I think he's got some good talent that's coming, but he's got some of the hardest schedules as he did last year. right now, with that being said, he's still got to got to get Florida up where they need to be. They're not going to accept this forever, and he's really got to take them to a new place. Everybody's really excited about DJ Lagway coming in. He was really good last year. They did pretty good toward the end in some of those games, but I got him as a 6. I think last year he kind of saved himself, but he's got to come back in here this year with another gauntlet of a schedule and really put together something. I think at 8-4 he'll be okay. At 7-5, I think he's getting a little bit too hot there. I know that's hard to say, but that's where I got him. Next, I got Kirby Smart. He's been with Georgia since 2016. He's 105-19, very impressive. He's 62-11 in the SEC. Oh my Lord! Georgia went 11-3 last year. He won 2 national titles. He's won 3 SEC titles. He reached 100 wins in just 117 games. Good. He's had a winning season since he's been there, and he's had some good winning seasons. Why he's been there. I don't think that he's that's changing anytime soon. I still think he's the best coach in the SEC right now. I don't think he is in any danger of losing his job. This guy just always puts out talent, and taking teams to the playoff, SEC championships, and winning national championships is what this guy does. And after Nick Saban left, this guy became the best coach in the SEC, I think. He's really dominated over there. You can tell by his stats and his records right there. And this season I think he'll still do very well. I got him as a 1. There's no way this guy's going to get fired next year. He's not even in a hot seat. He's not even in a warm seat. He's sitting ice cold. So he's going to be fine. Nothing to worry about there for Georgia fans. And probably looking at another good season to come up. Next, I got Sam Pittman. He's been with Arkansas since 2020. He's 30-31. He's 14-28 in the SEC. They went 7-6 last year, showing a glim of light, beating Tennessee last year. He hasn't done good against SEC teams. He was 3-5 last year. He's got to have a better season and wins if he wants to do better. He can't start out like last year and just be bad. Fans are not going to accept that. They like him, but they want him to do better with this. I know they want to make it to the playoffs, but I don't see that happening next year. Just the way that Arkansas's been, I see them. I can see some improvement. There's light there. There was times I was watching them last year, and I was like, man, this team could be good, And then I watched them sometimes, like I watched them in that Ole Miss game, and I was like, ooh, this is terrible. So it's up to them on what they want to do on that. I got him as a 7 on the scale because it just hasn't been going too great for him. He's really had a lot of problems over there in Arkansas, and it just doesn't seem like he can really, get where he needs to be. I'm not saying he can't, but it's going to really show a lot coming into this next year. So next, I got Lane Kiffin. He's been there for 5 seasons, since 2020. He's 44-18. He's 25-16 in the SEC. Ole Miss went 10-3 last year. He's done really good over there at Ole Miss, but he hasn't been in the playoffs yet. I know he's hoping to get there this year. He's had a great offense. He's a great offensive mind, and he has a lot to face with. He has a lot to face with the least amount of production coming back this year. This should really show some how good they really can be. They had some really good games last year, even beating the top team in the SEC. They're beating Georgia, but none of that matters if you can't make it to the playoffs. Um, you know, he was really great at Alabama. Being a offensive coordinator over there, done really great. Lane Kiffin is a great offensive mind, and his defense isn't too bad themselves. He's always putting out good talent. He's I think one of the best coaches in the SEC. He's really up there with Heupel and Kirby. I think this guy can get him there. He almost did last year, just losing late to kind of keep you out of it. But he really needs to make it. I think he's probably sitting at like a 3, not too high. There's really no danger at all. I don't see anything wrong with that. I mean, if he had a bad season, maybe, but no. Ole Miss is, I'm sure they would be fine even if he didn't, because of how many good seasons he has have. He's really been doing good down there, and I think they're happy with him still. Next, I got Brent Venables. He's been the head coach over there at Oklahoma since 2022. He's 22-17. He's 2-6 in the SEC. Oklahoma went 6-7 last year. I know that's not too good, but they did show some good play, beating Alabama and keeping them out of the playoffs. His defense did really great last year. They're ranked 19th in the nation. Now, if he can get his offense to be on par, I think they'll be doing some great things. He's got some new talent coming in this year. I know they'll be really happy, if they can get the win over Texas as well. I know their fans will be, ecstatic about that. This is really their first year coming into the SEC. Them in Texas coming in and playing, a good SEC schedule, and it's going to be tough. SEC is the powerhouse. It's the toughest conference there is. I don't care what anybody says. It's the toughest conference. There's a reason why, the SEC is leading. I think it was like 3 teams are in the top of the recruiting right now, and SEC teams are doing really, really good in recruiting. It's just how it is. You come here if you wanna go play in the NFL. Yeah. But he's got a lot of work he's got to work on this year. I think they will be better, but we'll have to see. I got him at a 5 on the scale. He's got a lot he's got to work on. It's kind of in the middle. Like, you have another bad season, it could be bad for you. But if you have a winning season, or make it to the playoffs, I think he's going to be just fine. So we'll see how that goes. Next, I got Shane Beamer, South Carolina. He's been coaching there since 2021. He's 29-22. And 15-17 in the SEC, but South Carolina went 9-4 last year, which was really good. Really catching some fire with a freshman at quarterback. There are a lot of people debated that this team should have been into the playoffs last year, and rightfully so. They looked really good, looking strong, but got some kinks they still got to work out. I think Shane is going to have a good season coming up. I'm pretty high on them, and everybody's pretty high on that new quarterback coming in. I got him at a 4. I think he'll be fine. I don't think they're going to lose a whole lot of games. I think they're going to be tougher than they were last year. If they play as good as they did, if they play better than they did last year, there's not a doubt in my mind they'll be in the playoffs. It looks pretty promising for them. I'm pretty high on them. I'm really high on South Carolina. I like the way they played last year. It was really good. So that's where I got him. I got him as a 4 on the scale. Next, I got Kalen DeBoer. He started his season at Alabama in 2024, replacing the best coach in the SEC or in college football, Nick Saban. He's got some big shoes to fill, and it won't be easy. He's 113-16, which is very impressive, and he's 9-4 in SEC play. Not too bad on his first year coming from Washington. I do understand that, but they were in a championship, and they did lose that. They had some games last year that were he shouldn't have lost. I mean, Vanderbilt, Oklahoma, you shouldn't be losing those. And I think you should have beat Michigan too. But, Tennessee, I can see, but those other three, I really don't. You can't have a championship game losing to those type of teams. I know Vanderbilt was pretty good last year, but come on, you should have beat them. Just wasn't good. But now he's got Ryan Grubb coming in for his offense, who's been beside him through Washington and went to Seattle Seahawks, and now he's coming to Alabama. I know Alabama fans are really frustrated if they didn't make it to the playoffs last year, and a lot of Alabama fans are still not really happy with this guy. But it's his first year, and he went 9-4. I mean, it takes him a while to kind of get into things like this. I think some of these Alabama fans are really spoiled. I'm a big Alabama fan. I think they're just really spoiled. I mean, to come in here and he go 9-4, and they're like, well, Nick Saban left him a Ferrari. Well, there's things that y'all don't understand, that this isn't the way he runs an offense. Look at him now. Look at him in recruiting right now. He's really showing what he can do right now. He had to get in there and learn things and get in there, and he had to get these players on his side. He had to learn the players. There's a lot of things that go into that instead of just taking good talent. That's like telling me to take a bunch of 5 stars and go out there and win a football game. I don't know what the heck I'm going to do. I don't know. I'm not saying he can't. He's a great coach. Yeah, he's done really good. But you can't just throw somebody in a spot and expect them to just go 100 miles an hour at it and win a national championship. But, I think they'll do good this year. I really like, the talent they got on the team. I really like the receiver core. I think either way they go at quarterback, I think it could be really good whether they go Ty Simpson or Russell. I think they're going to be in a good position, I think, either way. I'm an Alabama fan. I try not to be such a homer, but I think next year they could do really good. And I think, if they really showed out, they could be in the top of the SEC. That's where so I got him. But here's the thing. Here's what I got him on the scale. I got him at a 7. And people are like, why you got him at a 7 if he did so good? Well, that's the problem, is that everybody else thinks so high of Alabama. I'm telling you, if he don't get into the playoffs next year, there's a possibility he could possibly get fired, just how these people are at Alabama. They are just like, it's all or nothing. But people got to understand something. What we seen from Nick Saban, we're probably never going to see again. If we did, it's not going to be till a very, very long time. That was a dynasty that nobody, that he created there. That's a big shoes to fill, to go in a Nick Saban spot. That was, but we'll see. We'll see how things turn out. Next, I got Steve Sarkisian. He's been at Texas since 2021. He's 84-52. He's 38-17 at Texas. He went 13-3 last year with Texas, going to a championship, but losing to Ohio State. Who actually happens to be their season opener this year, so already starting off on fire. They could really make a statement coming in and beating this team and show that they are better than what they were last year. But, they weren't in the top of the SEC last year. That was Georgia. Georgia ended up beating them a couple times. They couldn't never get the edge over Georgia. But they want to be, I think they could be another, playoff contender next year. Could possibly be competing for the national championship again next year. I think this team is going to be good again. Some say they'll even be better. We'll see. I got Steve Sarkisian as a 3. I don't think he's in any danger. They like him over there at Texas. He's done really good. He went to the playoffs, national championship, lost the national championship. Okay, but he's still doing really good over there. I think he'll be fine. Next, I got Josh Heupel, Tennessee. He's been there since 2021. He's 65-23. He's 37-15 in the SEC. Tennessee went 10-3 last year, losing in the playoffs to Ohio State, another victim of Ohio State. He's done really good at Tennessee. As I got him as one of the best coaches in the SEC. He always puts out good players, but he does quite a bit of a dilemma right now with Nico leaving and having to get a new quarterback. Joey, I think that they'll still be good, but I don't. He's got some problems with losing to teams that shouldn't be sometimes. Like you shouldn't have lost to Arkansas last year. You should have beat them, but I don't know what happened there. But sometimes he runs into those type of games. You gotta go out there and beat these teams you're supposed to beat. You really do. You got to go out there and beat these teams. You really got to go out there and beat these teams. But I still don't think he's in any danger. I think they love him over there at Tennessee. I got him as a 3. He's going to be fine. He's really not in any danger. He's going to be just fine. Next, I got Jeff Lebby. He started in 2024 for Mississippi State. He's 2-10, and he went 0-8 in SEC play last year. It looks bad, but it was his first year. He's got a lot of good players in there, and I think he's got some things that he can really do to make this team play and go the way that he wants them. He's got a lot on his plate. I think he can still do good. Now, I'm not saying that they're going to be SEC champs or anything like that, but I think, they can have a winning season this year. They could have a good winning season and do better than they have, and I would like to see that at least go 7-5. I think that'd be really good for them. I got him as a 6. He's just, it's really hard on him right now. No, I'm not. I'm not saying that he's going to get fired. I'm really not. It's been hard on him, but he's really got to show something this coming up here, at least a little bit, in order to do what he needs to do right now. Like I said, I think he's just got a lot he's got to work on and get things right for this team, and I think Jeff Lebby will be okay. Like I said, I don't think he's going to go anywhere. Next, I got Clark Lee. He's been there since 2020. He's 16-33. He's 6-26 in the SEC. Ouch. They went 7-6 last year, with the biggest win they've ever had over there at Vanderbilt, and that's at Alabama. Nobody was aware of them last year, and but of them, being as good as they were. They've had really good talent. They got the most coming back and returning in the SEC. They're number 1 for that. We'll see how much better they can improve. This team can go to new heights. Also, with Diego Pavia coming back, saying he's going to run to Tennessee. I know I still think that's funny. He's coming there saying he's going to run Tennessee. I think Clark Lee's going to be okay. I think he's gonna be fine. I think Vanderbilt's really happy with him. I got him at a 4. I don't think he's gonna go nowhere. They're really happy over there at Vanderbilt at what he's done, and I think he's done a lot better. So we'll see how things go with that. All that being said, he's got to have a winning season. Vanderbilt is really, really could move up fast if they do as good as they were or better. Next, I got Elko at Texas A&M. His first season at Texas A&M was 2024, which was last year. He's 24-14, 8-5 in SEC play. He did really good, being his first year at A&M. His defense was ranked 12th in the nation last year, which was really good. He's really good. He's been there. He was their defense coordinator from 2018 to 2021. I think he's done really good there as a first year coach, and it looks like he's got a lot of talent. I expect a lot of good things from him. Being that he already knows how things kind of go over there, and he already knows the talent and everything because he's already been a defense coordinator being there. So he's already got some experience over there at Texas A&M and the SEC. So it's really not a whole big surprise that he's already doing as good as he as good as he is, there's still some things they got to fix. I'm not saying that they're perfect, but I think Texas A&M could do really good last year. Could be in the playoffs if they wanted to. Last year they could have been in the playoffs and been in the SEC championship if they had ran their cards a little bit better. But I think they could really do that this year. I got him as a 4. I think he's going to be fine for his, and that's really good for his first year being a coach, being a head coach over there at Texas A&M. He's done really good, and I think he's got some really good talent coming in. Next, I got Drinkwitz. He's been there since 2020. He's 50-25. He's 38-24 over there at Missouri. They went 10-3 last year. That was really great. Despite them having a good, despite them having a good year last year, they can't seem to get over some of the humps with some of these big teams, like getting their doors blown off by Alabama. But this team is better than they ever have been. Going 10-3 is nothing to laugh at. He's got new talent coming in this year. If he could keep it the same, or go better than what he had with Brady Cook and Luther Burton, but we will see. I think he's got a lot he's got to improve on. Just trying to see if they can do better. They got to do better with bigger teams. They can go out here and whoop up on some of these smaller teams, but can he come out here and win a real big game? That would be really awesome for him if he can do that. Next, we're going to move to Hugh Freeze. Saved him for last. Let's talk about him. Hugh Freeze has been with the Auburn Tigers since 2022. He's 94-57. He's 11-14 at Auburn. He's no stranger to the SEC. He did coach for Ole Miss from 2012 to 2016, with a record of 39-25. In 2023, he went 6-7, and in 2024, he went 5-7. It seems like this guy's just going in the wrong direction. I don't know what's going on with him, but first he goes and says things like, anything less than a bowl game is unacceptable. Unacceptable. What do you don't need to say that. Anything less than a bowl game is unacceptable. You want to make it past a bowl game. Everybody's tired of, you saying the things I don't know. This guy just talks out of his head sometimes. I don't think he thinks before he talks. He got some real bad, back people, some lash on that. People are like, what is he talking about? He also said, they are losing top recruits because they are doing things the right way, and that will put them at a disadvantage for recruiting in 2020 for your recruits in 2026. What's the right thing? Going to play golf every day? I mean, is that what that looks like it to me? That looks like all he wants to do. I don't understand this guy. I really don't. Looks like to me like you just don't care. Your rivals in the state are crushing it. In recruiting, just crushing it. Alabama out there getting 5 stars, 4 stars. Just got the most 5 stars than anybody right now. Alabama does. And you're sitting over here in the SEC and you're last in recruiting. You're 78th in the nation. And people tell me, oh, don't worry. He's got plenty of time. Signing day is not till February. Why not go ahead and jump on the ball and get after some of these 4 and 5 stars? Why not do that? You're taking your time and you're slow poking around, and you're going to end up getting left behind. And going to get yourself end up left behind at Auburn because they're going to end up getting rid of you. You don't look too good for you right now. You're going backwards. You're going backwards. It does not look good. The Auburn fan base, if I was an Auburn fan, I'd be worried. I would not be happy with this guy. Not at all. I'm not happy with him now. It's not the same without Auburn not being good in the state of Alabama. You know, I remember every year where Auburn used to be just tough. I used to worry about him. Now it's getting to the point where I'm like, I'm not that worried about him. It's still a rivalry game, and anything can happen. I might eat my words now, and they'll beat us next year. I might eat my words, but hey, at least you did something. If you do, you ain't showing nobody nothing. I mean, not a thing. He's had really good recruiting classes. But it just seems like now, this year, for the 2026 class, he just don't care. I mean, like I said, I don't know what this guy could be thinking. I got him as a 9. I do. Because I think if he does what he did last year, he's gone. He's definitely gone. He's the hottest on the seat in the SEC, I think. I think he is on fire. But he just don't seem to care. He's just out there playing his little golf. Don't worry about it. We're doing things the right way. What does that even mean? You're losing recruits because you're doing things the right way? What are they doing that's wrong? You better start doing things a different kind of way because it's not helping you at all. Really not helping you. This is awful. You just don't seem to care. And Auburn fans are getting kind of fed up with you. I was saying that I didn't like you to some of these Auburn fans, and Auburn fans were like, no, man. And now I'm talking to them, they're like, you know what? You might be right. And he's the one I have the least least faith in this year. He just the way he's, he don't care. I'm not big on him at all. The things he say just never makes any sense. Nothing's ever his fault. It's always the other person's fault. But I don't know. I feel sorry for Auburn fans right now. If I was them, I'd be worried to death. That is the point of it. But that's all I got for today. Coming into the kind of getting in a hot seat for these coaches and kind of give y'all a look at what I think about them. I appreciate you guys for watching. Remember, you can find me on YouTube. You can find me on X. You can find me on Spotify. You can find me on Instagram. I appreciate you guys for watching. And tell me, who do you think is the coach with the biggest hot seat in the SEC? Drop that in the comments below. If you got anything you think I could work on to make this better for you guys, please leave that in the comment as well. And thank you for tuning in to SEC Clash.